Tommy Love coming to you live from a kind of grey and very cold Rishikesh. I'm sure it's probably not as UK cold, but it's cold by India standards anyway. So I'm layered up. I've got myself a new little scarf, which is quite nice, keeping me warm, and a big mug of chai. I come to these guys at the Maggie Point here because I do a nice big mug of chai. I mean, often the receptacles for chai in India are quite small. These guys do a proper mug, which is why I come here. And I just wanted to chat to you a bit because I've felt a bit anxious for the last couple of days, like a bit of anxiety's crept in. And it's something I've battled with really badly at home, anxiety and depression. And I know a lot of you do too, so I wanted to talk about it because I think the first thing we should do is vocalise it. And I'm just trying to come up with like a plan, like maybe a 5 or a 6 step kind of thing to do each day if I'm feeling anxious. And I'm trying to verbalise that and share it, and I'm looking for a response from you guys too, if there's any tips that you guys do. And the first thing that I try and go for, and this has been helping in the last day or two. It's only been mild, you know. It's not been crazy, but I just realised I haven't been operating at quite full level. And anybody who suffers from anxiety will know that they'll know that it's holding them back in some way, and it's kind of restrictive. And that's no good, man, because we're here to live our lives properly and not to be held back. And things like depression and anxiety and mental health issues can definitely put a damper on the way we feel, and then in turn the way we behave and the way we look at ourselves and the way we look at the outer world and, you know, our whole life experience. So what I do is I get my feet, I've got socks on, it's cheating a little bit, and I put them into the ground, and I go to the beach over there. And this is my first tip. It's called grounding. I put my feet about shoulder width apart, and I straighten my spine, but I loosen everything. I loosen my bum, I wiggle my bum, and I wiggle my shoulders. And I just get myself all... Sorry about that, I cut myself off there for a second. So yeah, feet in the ground. I'll take my flip-flops back on. Okay, feet in the ground. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter if it's inside, if it's outside. Possible, the best thing to do would be in nature, so in grass, in sand, even in soil, but I appreciate it's winter back home. Just do the best you can and wiggle about. Just really let go and take some deep breaths in and out. And whilst you're doing this, imagine roots growing out of your feet and into the ground. It's quite a strange notion to think of at first, but just use your imagination a little bit and go with it. And the roots, they're getting thicker and deeper and stronger and wider. Just focus on this for 30 seconds is all you need. Then eventually, when you feel a good connection with the roots, imagine there's a connection between you and them. You almost feel the energy going down into the roots as you build them, but then you're also drawing energy back up through the roots into you, into your system, into yourself. And slowly you can almost feel it envelop you over your back, coming up your legs, up your back, and then over your front, over your face, over your chest, over your belly. So it's kind of like binding you. And that's called grounding. That's step 1. Step 2, find 5 things to be grateful for, and if possible, write them down. So I haven't thought about this, I haven't preordained this, but I'm just going to reel 5 off the top of my head. I'm grateful for my friends for constantly having my back and constantly being a source of amusement. 2, I'm grateful for my mum and everything that she does for me. 3, I'm grateful for the fact that I'm here in India, this wonderful, crazy, nourishing place which is doing my soul the world of good. 4, I'm grateful for the breakfast I had this morning. It was tasty, it was delicious, you know, the simple things count, you know. And step 5, I'm grateful for that chai I just had because it was good. I've been laying off for chai the last couple of days, and so I appreciated it even more than the sort of 5 I had every day for the week before that. So those are my 5 things today that I'm grateful for. They have a lot more power if you write them down, so I'm just going to go back. I'm heading back up to my gaff now, and I'm going to write them down. And that's step 2, 5 things you can be grateful for in that moment. And I know everybody on this planet has at least 5 things that they're grateful for, or can be. So yeah, step 2, big love. Hey team, so here I've made my little gratitude list for the day. You can see I've dated it at the top. And I'm going to keep up with this because this is like my go-to if I'm feeling a bit like just out of sorts, shall we say. But psych exercise, would you only do exercise if you only ever felt stiff? Do you know? Would you only ever do exercise if you ever felt pain? What would happen if you exercised your mind and your heart every day? That's a cool idea. So I'm going to keep this up. I'm going to sort of keep you guys informed as to my progress with that. So yeah, step 3. This is the kind of list I've made for me. I'm not preaching, and I want you all to find your own list if you suffer from any of these problems. I'm hoping that I can help you by just sharing my experiences, because I think us men need to learn how to share better. We need to learn off you ladies a little bit, the art of communication, because you guys do it amazingly. And yeah, so step 3, send a text. Send a text to somebody you love. Send a text to somebody you speak to every day. Send a text to somebody you haven't spoken to in a long time. Just spend a few minutes crafting a nice message. And it might be hard if you're really down that day. And it's okay to say, I'm feeling really down today also. Problem shared and all that, you know. And it really is like that. We are meant to live as a species interconnected, you know. We are meant to live in communities, we're meant to live in tribes, and we're meant to support each other and have each other's backs. So I've mentioned a little bit about that with my friends, because they've totally, you know, been an amazing support through my hardest times. And yeah, so just craft a nice little text message to somebody, could be anybody, and just spend a couple of minutes focusing on that. To send a text message takes less than a minute. Spend a couple of minutes, just say something nice to anybody. So that is step number 3.
Step number 4. Right, now this is a technique used in Tai Chi and Qigong. It's called tapping, and it's dead simple. And anybody from a 3 or 4 year old kid right through to my 92-year-old grandma can do this. So you just literally tap. You tap all of your tissues. They say you keep your issues in your tissues. That's true. So if you're feeling a bit depressed, just wake up your muscles a little bit. It's a really simple technique. Go from one arm, back of the hand. Keep a lot of energy in your back and front of your hands. Down through your wrists and your elbows. Chest, side. Give your belly a big one. Do your bum. Sides. And then your legs. Down the side and then back up again. And then the other leg. Now, this morning when I woke up, I was not 100%. I was not feeling great. I felt groggy for no particular reason. And it just felt like, a bit crap. And then since the few minutes since I started filming this week's video diary and going through my technique and sharing it as well, big part of it is sharing, but yeah, I feel amazing again now. I feel great, and it's worked. So that's really cool. But anyway, yeah, that was another step on my little list. But yeah, I want to hear from you guys as well. I want to know how you're feeling and what you do to overcome that, because my previous ways of dealing with it were chocolate and hashish. I smoked a lot of cannabis over the years to try and bury myself, and drinking, smoking cigarettes, anything which kind of gave me a little glimpse of feeling better, but in the long run it was just addictive behaviour. So yeah, I want to know how you guys are dealing with it, and if you guys have got any good tips to add to the list. So yeah, big love to all of you, and we'll see if I can think of any more steps, but we'll take it from there. Take care.